Hi there, welcome to today's painting tutorial. Today we are going to paint a silver teapot with acrylic paints. So let's get started and grab the sketch in the description below so you can paint along with me. I'm going to try to do this painting with one brush. We're going to use a size 3 flat brush. And let's start with some dark value. I'm going to add some of this burnt umber and some of this black. Let's put that along this area here. I'm just dabbing the paint and I'm using the edge of that brush, putting in the dark areas where these shadows are. And then we can get lighter. Let's take some of this burnt sienna and put some of that burnt sienna in there. And then I want to put some of this light gray. Just adding little dots where the lighter values are. And then I'm going to take some of this grayish blue. Let's put some of that in there as well. Okay, so now let's go down to this section here. So we'll do a similar pattern. Let's take some black and some dark brown and start putting that shadow in here. Can grab some more brown if you need to. And then I'm going to take some yellow ochre, put this warm in along these other brown areas. And then we can get a little bit cooler. So I'm going to grab some of this bluish gray and put that in. And then let's take this light gray and then bring that down on this right side over here. And then put a little bit on the left side. Then we'll take some of this white paint. See if we can add a highlight. Just a few little marks here. Okay, so now let's think about this section here. I'm going to continue with some of that dark paint. I'm just going to use that edge of the brush to make a little bit of a line here. It's going to be the lip of the kettle. I'm going to put some black in there as well. And then we'll take some gray, bring that gray in. And we'll take the bluish gray and then put that in. Okay, so now let's work on this spout. I'm going to take some black paint, put that in the very center, use the edge of your brush. Then we'll take some of this brown, bring the brown down this way, and also under here. Then some burnt sienna, feather that in. And then some yellow ochre, we can put that yellow ochre underneath the spout and around this section, then over here as well. Okay, and then we'll take some gray paint and fill in those white areas. Bring it down here. And then bring it around the top of this spout. And then we'll add that highlight. So let's pick up some white paint. Make a little curve here for the highlight. Almost a C shape along the top. And then we'll bring a highlight right here. So when you're using one brush, the colors can mix together and get a little bit muddy. So you might have to take a rag and remove some of that excess paint. Okay, so now let's look at this handle. So I'm going to start with these dark colors, bring them around. And again, you can rinse your brush. Remove that excess paint. You could see I had some white left in there, so it got a little bit too light. So I'll come back with some black. Put a little bit of a black shadow in here. And you can also outline these shapes with the black. Then we'll take some brown and add that into the mix. And then we'll take some of this burnt sienna and mix that in. Go along this edge. If you want a nice smooth curved edge, make sure you have enough paint on your brush. Bring this down. And then take some light gray and bring that along the top. That's where some of the highlights are going to be. Along this section here, bring some down this way. It's a bit of a highlight. And also let's put some yellow ochre in there. Come along this side. These beautiful rich colors. And I'm going to take a gray and bring that down along this handle. And that's actually going to be in shadow. So I'll take some of this dark brown, put that in to create a little bit more shadow. Okay, so now let's do the bottom section here. So again, you can take some dark color and let's do this section here. I'm using that edge of the brush and outlining the shape. I want it to be even on both sides. Sketch is not super even, so you might adjust that if you'd like. We'll take some of this brown paint and put that in the center. And then I'll take some burnt sienna, bring that along this left side. Maybe make a few little rows here. And then I'll take that gray color and then bring that gray in there. And I'll put some gray on this edge. It's a little bit of a highlight. And then you can take some yellow ochre and put that in as a highlight as well. Okay, I might let that dry and then come back and refine things there. Okay, so let's look at this section of the teapot. So I'm going to take that dark color, black with our dark brown, and let's start putting in that shadow. I'm going to come this way. Just want to put the black in first. It's the most intense dark color. And then I'm going to take that dark brown and bring that in next to the black. Come up here. And bring it along this edge. We're getting all of that black paint out of the brush. Okay, well, it's still wet. Let's take some of this bluish gray. Put a bit of a highlight here. And I'm also going to use the light gray. And that's even lighter. Just pop in a nice highlight. Okay, so I need some balance. So I'm going to take this dark brown and put that on the left side. Try to get a crisp edge. Then we'll bring some of this into the center as well. Nice and loose here. Really painterly strokes. And again, that flat brush is going to be perfect for this technique. It's really good to practice loosening up your painting sometimes. Okay, I'm bringing these darker shadows in here. And then picking up that dark brown and continuing to bring it down this way. So this is where our highlight is. So we need to start getting lighter. So we'll take some of this burnt sienna. It's a beautiful, warm brown color. Make a nice transition here. And then I want to transition into the yellow ochre. This color is also super intense. So we're going to bring that in. We can put it up in this section. So it's acting as a nice highlight. And you want to filter it throughout this side as well, so you get that really beautiful transition. And then we'll take some of this light gray. And see if we can start putting that in. It's going to mix nicely with that yellow ochre. And then I'm going to take some of the blue, that bluish gray, and start putting that in as well. Okay, we want our highlight to be right here, so we'll take some white and put that white right in there for a beautiful highlight. And then I'm going to go back and blend it and allow things to overlap a little bit. It's going to create some nice cohesion. Okay, and then I'm going to come back with some of this light gray. I'm going to bring that in on this left side. And put that along this top edge here. We'll let it blend. And then I'm going to take some more of that gray. Come back and think about where I need to add or accentuate some of these highlights. Can do that with this light gray. Put some in the handle. And then bring some in this section. Okay, so now let's mix up a even lighter highlight. So what you can do is take some of that yellow ochre and some white to create a really nice light yellow color, and that'll create a beautiful highlight. Okay, you might want to clean your brush. You can see that mine has a lot of gray in it. So I'm going to clean the brush, and if you have more than one brush, you could switch brushes. Just try to use the same size. And let's see if I can get a light highlight with some white on here. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this in. So let's bring some right here and right here on this handle, or this spout rather. A little bit on the handle. Just thinking about where my most intense highlights are going to be, where that's really going to show up and look nice. Okay, and then you can come back and make some adjustments. Step back, look at your work. Might want to make this side a little bit darker. Put that into a little more shadow. Maybe add some more yellow ochre in there. Just add that where you want things to look like they're glowing. Okay, but try not to overdo it. And then if you needed to clean up some of your edges, use that edge of the brush and go back and clean it up. So along the bottom, I'm going to put some highlights on this left side here. Okay, and I think we will call this painting complete. So that is how you can paint a beautiful silver teapot with acrylic paints. I hope you give this a try. If you want to dive deeper into acrylic painting, grab my free guide in the description below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!